All right, Todd Billin, what did I tell you? If it's the 2022 draft, your boy has it on lock because that will feature a number of kids from the 2019 recruiting class, which many of you know I have great insight into by being around a ton of these cats when I lived back in the state of Georgia through my Big Bros True 19 All-Star program that featured some of the best talent you'll ever see and having insight on all the kids across the nation. None more so than that cat Travon Walker, who just absolutely destroyed the combine, who I believe and who I've been saying should be the number one overall pick. Now, saying someone's the number one overall pick doesn't necessarily mean they will go number one overall. It means they have a chance to be in the running. Obviously, we didn't know the Jacksonville Jaguars would get the number one pick, and I don't believe they need an edge player, although everybody could use a Travon Walker in my opinion. But I believe he is the number one edge player in this draft, and that's after his other 2019 running mate, Kayvon Thibodeau, did what he did. Aiden Hutchinson did what he did. I think Travon has the best upside out of all of those cats, and I'm going to do a little bit of a film study, and we can do a think like a scout / think like a GM, and you guys let me know about it, right? Another call and response from your boy. Let's get it.
What more can I say?
Top Billin. Now listen, make no mistake about it. My man was a 5-star going into the University of Georgia, and I know he was on a stacked team, a stacked defense, and a lot of people are probably going to disparage him because of that, but he is his own standalone talent. He was already a 5-star coming into it, and he blew up after that True 19 All-Star game where he received 8 offers after the game. So my man here, if you were looking at him back then, we were thinking he was going to be an interior defensive line prospect. He was already 285 pounds. So you would think going through 3 years of a strength and conditioning program like the University of Georgia, one of the best in the country, you would think maybe he ends up just shy of 300 pounds or something. 6'5", 272 pounds at the combine where he absolutely destroyed it. So think about that right there. And look at this. Man ran a 4.51 40-yard dash, nearly a 36-inch vertical leap at 270 pounds. I believe they said the most athletic and definitely the fastest 40 time for anyone in that weight class. That is tremendous. And what's also tremendous is the fact that, think about it, he was miscast as an interior defensive line prospect. Though doesn't mean he didn't have a ton of success, right? I think he's going to be even better as a defensive end in a 4-3 defense. When I first saw this kid, he had the most impressive physique I had ever seen on a kid in that particular age bracket. I believe he was about 15 or 16 years old or something like that. One of the parents actually thought he was a parent. He had the deep voice and everything. Shit was crazy. I'm telling you right now, this guy's upside is tremendous. That man shook my hand, right? He shook my hand, Travon Walker. He broke all the bones in my shits, right? All my shits was done. It was cooked, bro. I had like the mandible claw jaw going on. I'm like, damn, what am I supposed to be doing with this? I'm a sports writer. Come on, I'm going to have to switch my occupation and go to the WWE like Mankind and use my mandible claw because he broke my shit, man. The guy is a specimen, and the guy has crazy work ethic, and he will only get better. As a matter of fact, let's check some of this out. All right, if you haven't already, make sure you're a subscriber. Hit that notification bell. Also, make sure you like this bad boy and share it on social media and share it on message boards, all right? My man Travon Walker is one of these rare breeds who can be aligned all up and down the guitar string from a 3 all the way pressed out to the 9s. He's that spectacular of an athlete, and he has the frame to match. So a lot of the times at the University of Georgia, we can see here in their must package or however you want to call it, right? Standing soldier package. My man coming from an interior portion, right? A 4i. He has that particular power, but we'll just check this out right here. This is something to behold right here. Check out the power on this cat. Driving Miss Daisy and bang. Splatter whack the quarterback. Look at him. He got jackhammer, right? he'll never be the same again. Someone's got to check his drawers. Time to get that wool light out to steam clean them shits. But you can see him right here. The imaginative or the imagination that he has it, right? Being very creative with it. He gives this man, right? Centers him up, gives him a move to the inside, and then centers him up, and then he's done already. Look at his back, already straight and stiffened out right there. He can't get over his skis any. Travon got all up in his chest bone, his chest plate, and then look at him. Straighten his ass out, right? He's like a 6'2", 6'3" guard. Now he about 6'8". He got Stretch Armstronged out there. Now look at him. Driving Miss Daisy, fertilizer man, then jackhammer the quarterback. And look at him flying like Superman. This is a cat that deserves to be able to play in space as well. So you talking about moving this cat. You guys got to let me know some of these teams out there. Now, he could, don't get me wrong, obviously he played in the 3-4. He can fit in the 3-4 as an outside linebacker, I believe. He could stand up and be an outside linebacker. I think he's that athletic. However, I would love to see him with his hand in the dirt, being able to get that leverage, coming from a 6'7" technique all the way out to a 9. You guys let me know some of these teams there who are running these schemes, who you would like to see Travon Walker go to. It does not matter to me. I think the guy is going to be a star. All right, we're almost a month into the future. I'm just finishing up this bad boy here. I started the day after Travon Walker's combine performance, and something happened during that time period. It was a breaking news, so I cut where you saw there when I was on camera. And now I'm back, baby, and the landscape has changed. Now everybody's saying the same shit that I've been saying for the past 3 years since that man was in high school, that he deserves to be the #1 overall pick. I would take him over Aiden Hutchinson. I would take him over Kayvon Thibodeau. His upside is tremendous. Those guys are great players as well. That's what makes this draft so special, in my opinion. Anytime you have great line of scrimmage players, Lorenzo Neal, maybe Charles Cross and those guys on the other side of the ball, that's a special draft to me, not just quarterback draft. Actually, this is not as good of a quarterback draft, but it's good that you can be able to get some of those quarterbacks a little bit later. But here, right, my man is splitting the difference between Seth McLaughlin and Emil Ekiyor here, and I love this type of move right there. He's creating for others, and he still gets the job done himself. Look at this. Boom. Bench press McLaughlin right on Bryce Young. Come on. He taxidermy Bryce Young. Look, Bryce Young could never be the same. Look at him. Paralyzed from the waist down. Weekend at Bernie's and all that shit at the same time. But just look at this move right here. Right back in that mush rush package. Him able to slant down. You see him squaring up with Ekiyor here. Slant down. Go beyond him. Bench press McLaughlin in his chest. Straighten him out. And, of course, I don't know what Ekiyor did. He's trying to pretend like he doesn't see him or something because he didn't want no more. But then he's right on that ass. And Jalen Carter come in here, who I think is equally as good as Travon Walker. He'll be the next draft. He comes up a little bit short, even though Travon created for him. But Travon's the one forcing Bryce Young to not be able to go downfield. And I'm not sure there might have been a penalty on that one because I don't know who the hell he was throwing it to. But he paid for it. Quadriplegic. All right, same kind of deal right here. You're going to have a split the difference. This time on an end exchange, you will see my man split the difference right here. So with an end exchange, usually you would think somebody like him would be the hammer and then the edge player would be the nail. But with him and the way he operates this, by splitting the difference, knocking out the left tackle, then getting skinny, I absolutely love this move. Right on DJ Uwe Unga Lele right there. And he forced a fumble with it. Look at this. This is a unique move right here. Coming from a 3 technique, splitting the difference. Look, 2 guys, right? It's damn near a double, right? Because you want to take up 2 guys in this. Doubles aren't going to bother this dude, man. Look how skinny he gets right there. Splits the difference. And, of course, the end exchange occupies the guard, and he's right there. Come on, man. This kid is a freak who's just scratching the surface of what he could be. He was in a crazy rotation where sometimes you would see on money downs, he's not even in the game. Imagine if he had gone to a place like Ohio State or Michigan where they pretty much play you in a 4 or even odd front or whatever like that, but you play the majority of the game. we would really know what he's about. A lot of people are going to say, they're going to look at his sack numbers and be like, well, he didn't have that many sacks. Believe me, it wasn't his doing. He was making the most of his opportunity in a scheme that I don't think actually fits his skill set, and he still looked good out there in that scheme. Here we go once again. This time, Travon Walker at a 2 technique. They're going to slant on the left side of the defensive line right here. So Travon, Nolan Smith both slanting, splitting the difference for Travon, getting skinny for Nolan Smith. Then you have Quay Walker coming around here. Everybody getting pressure, but you can see the impact that Travon Walker has. Look at that. He's the last one there, but is the one who actually makes the play. Think about that. He wasn't meant to make the play on this. He's meant to tie up blockers. You send him on the interior. You get a bluff of some type of G lead from the shotgun, and you can see him right here tied up with a couple of guys on the interior. Nolan Smith gets there. Quavon Walker flushes. McNamara does a good job of escaping that, but look who comes free. So that would be a blue-collar sack as well. So he's getting them white-collar and blue-collar sacks. My man can use his brain. He can use his physicality. He's got that 6'5", 275-pound frame, and he has an endless motor. He's one of these rare, damn near perfect athletes / prospects. That's why you draft somebody like him with the #1 overall pick, because of his ceiling. Now, obviously, it depends on your needs, but you get what I'm saying. He should definitely be the first defensive player off the board or non-quarterback player off the board. But listen, this looks like 115 guys are going to come back. You're going to get Travon Walker right here on a fire zone. He's going to pretty much work hook curl, and then you're going to have, if you look at this right here, they're going to send Channing Tindall here. So it's still only 4. They're still only rushing 4 people. They're rushing 4 people, but it's the mental pressure where you think a whole bunch of people are coming. You're going to have Jacob Copeland right here. He's really the only guy that's in man coverage, and he's getting vert down the field. You're going to have Xavier Henderson right here. He's pretty much running a seam route, but the fact that you got Travon on that blitz, he's leading them right to it because he's staring it down. Right away, he leads him there with his eyes. He leads Travon. Travon's going there anyway, but you lead him there with his eyes. He's able to break on the ball and then tip it off, and then Nolan Smith's able to break it up. Look right here. He's just looking at it. Look, Travon Walker, too easy. Too easy. You let him there. You absolutely let him there. Looks like the first thing he wanted maybe to see if he could go vert right here. Probably not going to be able to get that, even though you could give jumping Jake Copeland a chance. He can go get it with the best of them there. But right away, he's like, well, it's probably going to be my best right here because a whole bunch of traffic into the boundary there, a whole bunch of bodies there. So he's thinking that this is going to be open. If you see somebody vacating right there, you're going to throw hot. So he thinks that this could be a hot read, and that's not the case. Don't stare it down. Travon Walker, right, sifting. Then look at him. He start to break on that bad boy. A big 300-pound dude like that or whatever he is like that with that type of nimbleness and adroitness, man, Georgia's just scary, man. I'm telling you, absolutely scary. All right, real quick, look at this. Travon Walker gaining momentum as potential high pick in the draft, and they go on to say something about him possibly being the #1 overall pick in the draft. What? Your boy been saying this shit for 3 years. I said it when he was in high school, so prior to him even being in college, to me, he has the look of a #1 overall pick. If you've been around this game enough, you've played it like I have, if you've been around the scouting community and everything, you can see what a #1 pick looks like. Jadeveon Clowney, the minute I saw that kid, you knew he was going to be the #1 pick overall. And remember, when I'm saying that, it could not possibly be the #1 pick overall because sometimes a great quarterback will trump anything that you're trying to do. You just have to accept that when it comes to football. But if not, if there's no quarterback like that in the draft, a cat like this you cannot pass up. But he just so happens to have a few other cats that play along the line of scrimmage that could also be in the running for the #1 overall pick. So I'm not saying that he's going to be the #1 overall pick. I'm just saying that he should be. Think about that. And I have been saying this shit. You're going to have to give your boy some props one day, man. I know y'all love to come here and y'all like to see me spaz out and all this and that. But you got to respect the game, man. You got to respect the name and you got to respect the talent here. Your boy be calling this shit, man, but y'all don't want to give me credit, baby. Let's get it.
What more can I say?
Top Billin.